big cuts here today. We're going to talk about a lot of the key ones, might miss a couple. I'm trying to get this out as soon as possible. Got a lot to do tonight, going on another podcast, doing a lot. So among the Browns cuts today, Sheldrick Redwine, Marvin Wilson, Kyle Lauletta, Jojo Natson, Curtis Weaver, and the tight end Franks. So I want to talk about some of these. Sheldrick Redwine, number one, I'm not surprised with this at all. I thought he was going to get cut. Honestly, Richard Lecount is what they were hoping Sheldrick Redwine would be. A guy who comes in later on draft pick and, with high potential and surprises a lot of people and can do stuff. That's what Richard Lecount has been. Redwine was no slouch coming out of Miami, but it was a risk. I was of the opinion I thought he could become something, but he's just not. And given what the Browns have done with this safety room, bringing in John Johnson, hopefully Grant Delpit can get back, Ronnie Harrison, now Richard Lecount, Javonte Moffett, I don't know if he'll make the team, but I've liked what he's done so far in the preseason, and I'm a fan of him in general. So this just makes a lot of sense to me, cutting bait with Redwine. Gave him a chance, and it just didn't work out. So, not surprised there. Marvin Wilson, this is the interesting one to me because I thought this was a guy who could really turn into something. Coming out of Florida State, he was great at a first-round pick just a couple years ago, but he wasn't able to tap into that potential. I liked some of the things I saw from him in the preseason and in camp, but it just never worked out to what I was hoping. I saw some better things from a lot of different guys, and this goes with the D-line in general, and this is what we'll talk about with Curtis Weaver. That D-line is interesting because, especially at the defensive tackle position, they've brought in a ton of guys, and when you have somebody like Malik McDowell making plays like that, seemed like last night he was in the backfield almost getting a sack every play. And for the Browns, they need that. So, Jordan Elliott was making plays. I've liked some things I've seen from Tommy Togiai. Marvin Wilson just happened to be the odd man out here. He'll get picked up based on his potential, but I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought this was going to be a guy who we picked up that could be a bigger role than possibly even expected. And going along with that, Curtis Weaver. This is the most disappointing cut of this list and probably of multiple to come. Curtis Weaver, man, he was a guy that I was so hoping would develop into something. This is a guy coming out of Boise State, had tremendous potential and number one, production. He was producing. I believe he was the sack leader at Boise State. So in the Browns situation they're in right now with Jadeveon Clowney on a one-year deal, they're still looking for Myles Garrett's long-term number two. Curtis Weaver, I thought, was a guy who could become that, but it doesn't seem like it. Obviously it didn't work out. He got cut. I'm disappointed in that. I really am. This is the guy that I wanted to keep around. I know there were some guys that really impressed in the preseason. Jackson was one of them. The guy, I can't remember his name. His last name is like the Louisiana, where it ends in AUX or EUX or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Forget what number he's wearing, but anyway, he's impressed. I know I should know these people if I'm going to talk about this, but nevertheless, he's really impressed me. Like I said, Jackson's impressed me. There's been some other guys who I thought have done a better job than Curtis Weaver, but as far as a guy to keep around and try to keep molding and growing, man, this is a guy I really wanted. So I'm very disappointed to see him go. Good luck to all these guys in their futures, but I think Weaver is not going to be out of the league. I'll say that much. Kyle Lauletta, this is somebody who I think we should definitely try to keep around on the practice squad. I think he's shown some great things. This is a guy who was picked by the Giants and had some buzz around him. Later, I forget what round he was taken, but I know there was a little bit of speculation there. Hey, this kid could become something. And I've loved what I've seen from him in the preseason. It hasn't always been great, but given what Case Keenum is making, and I've not been too impressed with Case Keenum. He just bores me. It is what it is. I thought Laletta might be a guy you keep around, potentially as, the future long-term backup. So hopefully we can keep him around on the practice squad. Probably not. We'll see with him. I think he's definitely going to get picked up somewhere. Jojo Natson. Listen, the day Anthony Schwartz was drafted is the day that Jojo was cut. It's just that flat out simple. The Browns now have Donovan Peoples-Jones. They have Dearness Johnson. They have Demetric Felton, rather. All who can return kicks and punts. Along with, you had Jarvis back there returning punts at one point. So the Browns have plenty of guys who can do this. Listen, he's fast. There's a reason why the Browns drafted Anthony Schwartz. This is why. So, man, more cuts I'm sure to come. My Twitter is going off repeatedly here. No new cuts. There are a lot of guys who are to come. Really unfortunate, but these are just some of the key guys that I wanted to talk about here. So let me know your thoughts. Who are you upset with? Who do you think makes the final 53? We'll see you in the next video. Bye.